What's up, everybody? Continuing on with the aftermath here. This is from the obviously aftermath of the Grandstand 147. Sorry about the other stream going down the way it did. I don't know what the fuck's happening today. My internet keeps dipping in and out, is what it is. Hopefully, it won't be dipping out in this one, but we're gonna get this done real quick. It's probably about a 5 to 10 minute video, give or take. So basically, swear they're trying to cut my feed, man. They do not want me to talk about their corporate greed, apparently. But that's what it is, though. It's all corporate greed, man. It's a bunch of scumbag criminals who don't give a shit about the people, don't give a shit about everyday Americans, just want to make the most profit possible. So what do? They create skeleton crews on these trains. They create fucking retarded ass times to actually look up stuff and make sure that everything's good to roll and it's not going to be, a train disaster waiting to happen and stuff like that. And what happens? It causes train disasters, dude. It causes train derailments and stuff like that. Not to mention, what's interesting, and this is something I want to talk about that I don't think I mentioned in the last couple of days, actually, because I want to say I just found this yesterday. I'm gonna see if I can grab the screen grab right now of this because it was some dude talking about something relating to Florida. Got a bunch of stuff I'm trying to find here. Yeah, I'm trying to think if this is the um. Hmm. Okay, hang on. I'm trying to find the one that I was looking up the other day. Uh, yeah, it was basically in the last couple of days now. There's been a fire down in Florida of I want to say it was a waste plant that made like renewable energy is what it was. So it basically turned like waste into energy or renewable like resources or whatever. And apparently been burning for like several days now is what it is. And it's like it's very scary, concerning stuff, dude. And it really comes down to being like, what the fuck is going on kind of thing right now, you know? So yeah, it's very, very disturbing to me anyway. And yeah, see if I can still find it here. No, I don't know. Thought I had saved it, but it doesn't seem like it's popping for some reason. Let me just okay, that was the Vance one. Hmm. I feel like it might have got shipped off to a different thing or something. But yeah, so anyway, it was basically some dude who was responding back to the East Palestine thing, whatever the case being. He was talking about this waste place. There's like renewable energy down in Florida there. Caught fire the other day, like over the weekend or something like that. It's now been burning for like several days, is what it is. And the thing of it is, you look at that stuff, you look at the train derailments, you look at all these, objects slash spy balloons going on in our atmosphere and shit like that. And it's like, is this all connected? Like, is it? And it makes you wonder. It's like it's one of these situations where it's like, okay, how much of this is connected versus it's just like several different things happening, simultaneously is what it is. Because obviously, you can look at the train car derailments and stuff like that as like, okay, you have old technology that's so outdated and so rusted out and stuff like that. It's just going to rust out and rust through and everything else like that and just derail eventually. Versus, is there some kind of sabotage going on there potentially? Especially when you bring in the whole like balloon tracks and stuff like that's what it is, and them doing like how they would basically do some stuff there. Because the thing of it is, you even just having like an inexperienced person or something at the helm and stuff like that, dude. Who's to say there wouldn't be some foreign national or something like that getting citizenship into this country, being a train conductor or some worker or whatever on the trains and stuff like that, and making sure their own happens and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they would know those people would know what the hell they're actually carrying is what it is, dude. Because you have the manifest is what it is then, and being like, oh yeah, here's these 15, 20 cars that all have various chemicals and stuff on them. So why wouldn't you want to cause a disaster if your whole entire end game is to basically destroy humanity is what it is, at least in the United States of America anyway, for potential priming of taking over and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, it would actually make sense at that point then. But I don't know. I think it's several different things together, honestly. I think it's a mix of just failures on all fronts at this point from various politicians and stuff like that who don't know a damn thing or just don't give a shit because they're all bought and paid for by these corporations. It's definitely corporate greed for sure on top of all that. And then it's basically just complete mismanagement of everything else like that, dude. It's people like Pete Buttigieg specifically who are in a position they have no fucking business being in because they don't have the goddamn qualifications to be in the fucking position to begin with. Like, that's the entire problem right there. Do you have a transportation secretary who has no fucking background in transportation or logistics for that matter, is a fucking failed mayor from South Bend, Indiana, is one of the biggest race dividing pieces of shit in America currently. Literally, when he was mayor of South Bend, Indiana, caused this fucked up racial division in that fucking city to where you had like one half of the place was like some weird, like gentrified gay white people or whatever the case be. The other side was like a bunch of minorities, is what it is, dude. It was like some weird train track between the two of them, is what it was then. And people all hated his ass, is what it was, dude. You had him being called out for multiple things that happened there, of like multiple people being shot and stuff like that by the cops and shit. And that's why he failed to go back there and get another thing, is what it was, dude. And then what's interesting to me is, and I'm actually gonna call out JD Vance on this one as well, on this aftermath. So you got fucking Vance himself now, who's acting like he's still a fucking candidate. JD Vance, we are ruled by unserious people who are worried about fake problems. Dude, you are a fucking sitting U.S. Senator right now, buddy. You are the so-called ruling class now, bitch. Unless you're specifically talking about Bilderberg, which, by the way, JD, we all know you have fucking ties to for the Peter Thiel and shit like that, buddy. Now, granted, as I've talked about before, there's many people out there with ties to Bilderberg and stuff like that. Doesn't mean they're all, in Soros's pocket or fucking the Rothschild or Rockefeller's pockets or anything else like that. The entire point is there really is like two Bilderbergs is what it is, dude. You have basically the insider Bilderberg, which is your Soros's, your Rothschilds, Rockefellers, royal family, all those people that are like the heads of the different families and stuff like that. They're all sitting in some like little teeny room by themselves is what it is. Having like the real thing of like how they kill humanity is what it is. Versus the real Bilderberg meeting, or I should say the kind of shell Bilderberg meeting outside where it's like a bigger ballroom or whatever. And you have just like all these heads of state and various heads of, corporations and stuff like that, your Peter Thiel types, and then of course by extension JD Vance types that are invited by people like Peter Thiel to the events. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hook you up with like these contacts for like this dude, and that chick or whatever, that are all like various hedge fund people or whatever it is, and so forth and so on. So it's not like I'm going to sit here and say that there's not like two different things going on. There's what it is. And I think I believe truthfully now, when I'm looking more into it now, I really think that's what's happening at most of these Bilderberg meetings over the years is what it is, dude. You have basically this kind of like elitist mentality is what it is, of the people that are in the big meeting versus the people that are off in another room doing their little small meeting. That's basically just like Dr. Evil level shit is what it is, essentially is what it will be then. You'd have like your Soros types, etc. Your fucking specifically Rothschild, Jacob Rothschild, sitting there at the head of the fucking table and being like sort of like Dr. Evil, petting a fucking cat and shit like that, and like being like, okay, number two, what do we do now, kind of thing. Or it's like, hey, Frau, how do we do these things, or whatever the case be, and take over the world and shit. And that's essentially what it would be, honestly. You'd have that little small group versus like the bigger meeting of the big ass ballroom is what it is. So And I'm not saying it's not a bunch of evil people, honestly, on both sides. I think there's definitely scumbags on all sides, is what it is, dude. And I think, honestly, Vance shows he's a fucking idiot right now. Less than 100 days into his fucking, senatorial seat right now. I guess is how I'd say it. I'm not sure how he say like basically. I think he's about. I think it's roughly 100 days or so, give or take, into his actual 6 years as being a senator currently. So, but anyway, we're going to continue reading the rest of this article though. Said Monday on Fox News Channel's Tucker Carlson Tonight, Senator J.D. Vance reacted to the Biden administration's handling of the toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. The freshman Ohio Republican U.S. Senator lamented the priorities of the Biden administration, referring to those concerns as, quote, fake problems. Vance was quoted as saying, quote, we've had hundreds of train derailments after we spent over $1 trillion on infrastructure in this country. Yeah, that's fucked up too, by the way. So the fact that this isn't getting obviously better is a major indictment of the people spending the money and what they're spending the money on. Now we know, if you've listened to Secretary Buttigieg today, that they are focused on more on whether we have too many white men in construction jobs than he is on the fundamentals of his job, which are ensuring we have a viable transportation infrastructure in this country. And unfortunately, my constituents in East Palestine have been some of the main victims of the fact we have failing infrastructure in our country again after spending tons of money in an effort to actually fix this. So the problem we have, Tucker, is that we are ruled by unserious people who are worried about fake problems instead of real fact. So the real fact that our country is falling apart in some of the most important ways. You mentioned the Environmental Protection Agency. Of course, it says right there it should be focused on clean air, clean water. It's the thing that I'm most focused on for the people of East Palestine. But so often they are focused on environmental racism and other ridiculous things instead of fixing the problem that they are established to fix in the first place. Yeah, see, that's a problem though right there, honestly, dude. And I will agree with Vance on that one. It's like, yeah, you have all these dumb motherfuckers on that thing. But again, it's like, dude, you are a sitting U.S. Senator. Like, you have the power right now to do stuff. You can, at bare minimum, you, sir, can introduce legislation federally to hold Norfolk Southern financially and criminally accountable for this shit. It could be two different fucking pieces of legislation right now. One could be for Norfolk Southern to be charged criminally with this shit. The second one would be them being basically on the hook, having their entire corporation as a whole dissolved, and having the $55 billion net worth of it being given to the state of Ohio and surrounding states, for that matter, into some kind of trust where the people that are going to be affected by this with health problems later on down the road, like we've seen after 9/11 with the first responders and stuff like that, and all kinds of like lung cancers and everything else like that. It could be the same exact thing there with Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, maybe even Michigan for that matter, because it might go up way that way and stuff like that, dude. So you basically have like 6 states that would be like a giant trust of like $55 billion potentially that the people of those states would have access to, and only the people of those states would have access to when it comes to actual health claims and stuff like that. It's not some fucking bullshit ass slush fund for a bunch of douchebag fucking governors in the future, or some douchebags general assemblies in the future, or whatever the case be, to sit there and piss away on fucking state shit or whatever the case be, dude. No, that money would specifically be enabled for the people who can actually prove, hey, here is my fucking claim. I developed cancer in the past like 3 years or whatever the case be after this fucking train derailment. Give me fucking money to pay my fucking medical bills, etc. is what it is, dude. Like, that's what it would be for, honestly. Period. In the story. Other than that, it would be off limits to any politician. It would be off limits to any individual that is a fucking sitting politician, basically, is what it is, dude. They have no legal fucking rights to do anything on that one, ever. Yeah, I just flipped over the news right now. You got breaking news. Governor DeWine updates the impact of East Palestine train derailment. Just lies his ass off is what it is. So go ahead and listen to that in the background for a minute here.
Once that's done, they'll examine them further. The NTSB is not involved in air monitoring, water quality testing, or environmental impact. So what about the people affected by the accidents?
Hundreds of East Palestine residents remain skeptical and concerned about everything from the testing results to the urgency of the cleanup efforts. Fox 8's Dave Nethers is back in East Palestine tonight. He joins us now live. Lots of new information out there today, Dave. What's top of mind for you?
Right, It keeps rolling in by the moment. We are standing by right now an EPA Region 5 state-of-the-art mobile laboratory that is here. The EPA sending out a statement just within the last half hour saying that they've tested more than 390 homes in the community. We know because we've seen that they have monitors strapped literally to stop signs in some cases around the community, testing the air quality. And so far, they said that the air quality seems to be safe. However, residents here are very skeptical because they are very concerned about what they see of the water testing and the contaminants that even the EPA admits have gone into the water system. EPA regional administrator just in the last half hour issuing this statement saying that since this derailment, the EPA has been boots on the ground, leading a robust air quality testing, including with the state-of-the-art mobile analytical laboratory you see here behind us. EPA Region 5 has also issued a general notice of potential liability letter to Norfolk Southern to document the release of hazardous contaminants. So the letter outlines EPA actions at the site and potential to hold the railroad accountable for associated costs. The railroad issued a statement here to Fox 8 today. Norfolk Southern,
let's see what these fucking cocksuckers are saying.
Teams still in this community, that they are continuing to either clean up or pay for the remediation or clean up of contaminants that still may be at the scene here, and they continue to work with state and federal authorities.
Bullshit they do.
To the EPA to do whatever it takes to clean this mess up. But I can tell you that the people here are very, very concerned. They are skeptical. They hear what they're being told, but what their eyes tell them with the monitoring that continues to go around and the cleanup in the waterways here, that their eyes tell them something different, and so they're concerned about drinking their own water, even though the EPA says the well water is safe here.
Oh, bullshit it is.
Answers, and it sounds like tomorrow the community is going to have a town hall meeting of sorts at the high school here, where people can go from station to station and ask different agencies all the questions that they want and try to get the answers. But I can tell you right now,
I guarantee they're going to get the runaround again, dude. There's no way they're not. And the problem again with that shit is, like, no, you want to fucking do testing, bro? Just give us the fucking money. We'll do independent testing, you fucking douchebags in Norfolk Southern. The same thing with the state of Ohio, for that matter, dude. Like, you want to get this shit tested, bro? That's cool. Give us the fucking money, and we'll independently test it ourselves at this point, because we don't trust your asses worth a fucking dime at this point, dude. And nor should we. Government is the fucking problem to everything, and they want to be the solution to fucking everything. And that's the biggest issue right now with our country, right now in a nutshell, dude. It's these motherfuckers that don't give a shit about the American people, that don't give a shit about fucking anything. So many fucking psychotic, lunatic douchebags that just want to fucking seize power and keep seizing power and destroy humanity and everything else like that. And meanwhile, they don't care what they have to do, whose fucking bodies they have to stomp on, etc., to get it done, dude. And that's the problem with having career politicians in this country in a nutshell, honestly, dude. And that's the thing. Like I've said before, do I personally really ever want to be in fucking government? No, I don't actually. And that's the biggest point right now, dude. It's people like me that don't actually want the power that are the ones that should have it, honestly, because of the fact that we're the ones that are most likely to go full constitutionalist and get shit done the correct way is what it is. And be able to put fucking stop gaps in place and be able to put various moratoriums in place so that future people in office cannot do the fucking shit that the past people have done at this point, honestly, dude. And that would be honestly what I would do if I was ever getting in office, dude. Whether it be a state rep or a state senator or state fucking, county commissioner, governor, whatever the case be. It would be any level of anything I'm at. It would be just to fucking get shit done correctly is what it is, dude. It would be fix the fucking problems that all these asshole past generations have fucking created at this point, honestly, dude. So, anyway, I'm just sick and tired of it, man. I really am over it at this point. And, like, enough is enough of this shit, honestly, dude. And then, of course, meanwhile, while all this shit's going on, you got fucking rhino sack of shit and douchebag Democrats coming together. By rhino sack of shit, I mean that fuckstick Lindsey Graham and that piece of shit Dick Durbin, who's an anti-gun fuckboy. Proposed, quote, Dream Act amnesty for nearly 2 million illegal aliens. Fuck that, dude. No, kick them all out. boot every single one of their asses back out of this fucking country and tell them to fuck off. Seriously. So fucking sick and tired of that DACA bullshit, dude. DACA is the biggest fucking joke ever created, dude. It was literally a bullshit executive order that a piece of shit Obama put in place. He had no legal right to do so, by the way. It has no legal fucking standing at all in this country. And everybody covered underneath it should be tossed out of this fucking nation, honestly, dude. Because they are illegally in this fucking country for literally anywhere from years to decades now is what it is, bro. So, anyway. Let's see if we got anything going on currently with Jesus Christ. Yeah, of course, Dickless DeWine, while he's fucking bitching about the thing, his Twitter account a couple hours ago threw out National Donor Day. Don't wait, save 8. Talking about, like, first of all, who the fuck donates their eyes or their fucking literal skin to other people? That's just fucked up and disturbing and disgusting, dude, for real. It's just so fucked up, dude. Of course, then we got politics trending in Ohio, East Palestine, and Ohio Chernobyl as well on that one. So there's anything new going on there with those two topics. Jesus fucking Christ. So that's apparently from last night now. Instead of it being a 100-mile square radius, it's now a 200-mile radius report for East Palestine, Ohio. So basically the entire state of Ohio is now a fucking disaster zone is what it looks like, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, 26 minutes ago, Governor DeWine called it absurd that the train that derailed in East Palestine was not considered a, quote, high hazardous material train. Despite carrying vinyl chloride, DeWine asked Congress to further investigate the incident. Fuck that, dude. You're the governor at this point. Hold these people's feet to the fucking fire criminally and charge them with a death penalty at the state level, you asshole. That's what you should be. Like, seriously, man. This is the thing that pisses me out the most about fucking Mike DeWine right now, dude. He's such a fucking little feckless piece of shit fucking career politician, dude. He is literally fucking 5'0" midget status, basically, at this point, dude. And does nothing for the state of Ohio at all. And just wants to sit there and act like, oh, I can't do things at all because I'm just sitting. No, yes, you can, motherfucker. You can lead the fucking charge, dude. You might not be able to do it alone. You might need the actual General Assembly to help you do it and pass legislation for it, dude. But yeah, you can fucking call out the General Assembly at this point and be like, hey, get into the fucking chambers, craft legislation. We're holding these people with death penalty charges accountable at this point, shit. And do so. And at the same time, having to craft a second part where it's basically we're taking every last dollar from Norfolk Southern at this point, dude. And have it be financially accountable as well on that one. That's how you get stuff done. That's what a real leader does, honestly, dude. Is they're like, no, we know for a fact you were going to kill our fucking residents in the next several years because of your bullshit fucking chemical train derailment. And we're going to make sure that your asses are in the fucking ground before that is what it is. And that's the problem right now, dude. Let's see here, continuing on, then we got some other stuff popping off here. Yeah, Ronnie Jackson saying East Palestine, Ohio is experiencing hell on earth. How did Pete Buttigieg respond? Yesterday, he spoke at a conference bemoaning that there are too many white people in construction. Is he insane? The woke mind rot that's infected the administration has facilitated disaster again. So as Josh Hammer guy said, can someone explain to me why the news of the horrific East Palestine, Ohio train derailment has effectively kept hidden from the public for over a week now? Because again, they don't care, dude. They don't want it to be fucking held accountable. And you got this person saying this 2 hours ago. Transportation Secretary Pete I think he said it wrong, who has proven himself to be a totally incompetent person in government. While the disaster in East Palestine, Ohio is in full bloom, he is God knows where lecturing Americans about American labor force being too white. He should be fired. No, he should be in fucking prison right now waiting death penalty with Norfolk Southern heads to do at this point. I'm saying it like it is, man. Pete needs to be held as an accessory to mass murder at this point, dude. Seriously. Because that's what he's going to cause. He's going to cause mass genocide in this fucking state right now from the amount of cancer clusters are going to be caused in the coming years, dude. Whether it be 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever the fuck it is. That fucking Archie piece of shit looking motherfucker from goddamn Mad Magazine. ass clown piece of shit. Yeah, as this person said here, they also live less than an hour from the train to Rome in East Palestine. I'm so worried of our air and water quality. Going to have to get stronger water filters and more masks. My asthma is already acting up, and my eyes water every time I go outside. The sad part is, dude, I haven't left this house in 2 days right now. I have not left this house since Sunday. Just because of the fact I'm so fucking frightened to leave the fucking actual air supply in the house currently, that if I go outside for any amount of time, I think I'm going to have like serious chemical and health issues right now, dude. And it could be too that the actual air and the wind and stuff like that went the opposite direction and stuff, so it might not even be affecting my area and stuff here outside of Canton. But even still, like, it's scary enough to where it's like, I don't want to leave the house, honestly, dude. Like, if I'm going to die inside, basically, is what it is, you know? So, let's see here. We got Nina Turner jumping on this 32 minutes ago, as a typical Democrat does, saying, what regulations are being put in place to ensure a situation like East Palestine, Ohio doesn't happen again? Exactly, dude. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, as much as I hate Nina Turner because she's a total fucking communist piece of crap is what it is, dude, her and I can agree on this one thing, honestly, right now, dude. It's like, what are they going to do to fix this shit? What is state government going to do? What is federal government going to do to actually ensure that we don't have future derailments, that we don't have future hazardous fucking materials going into our soil, into our air, into our water, into our environment as a whole right now? And my biggest problem is, you have all these climate activists out there, dude. These people, they're, literally fucking gluing their hands to pavement and stuff like that, or to various portraits and things like that, and whatever. Or your Greta Thunberg types trying to make a name for themselves while being in gas-powered vehicles and stuff like that. That's what it is. And it's like, where y'all at, man? Seriously. Where's Al Gore at? Where's Bill Gates at? Where's Greta Thunberg at? Where y'all at, man? Seriously. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're fucking dicking around in your private jet setting and stuff like that because you're a bunch of hypocrite douchebags. That's what it is. Go fuck yourselves. Yeah. Globalist sacks of shit. Seriously. So, anyway. Let's see, that one was for East Palestine. Let's see about Ohio Chernobyl. See what's anything new on that one then. The whole situation now. So, go back to Twitter here. Let's see. Got DC Drano saying Ohio Chernobyl is trending, and Biden hasn't even tweeted about this chemical disaster once yet. That was as of an hour ago, by the way. Yeah, we got Mega Nancy. Ohio Chernobyl is what happens when you instill a president and your diversity hire is unqualified. Exactly, dude. Obama EPA dumped 3 million gallons of toxic wastewater from an abandoned mine into Colorado's Amicus River. That first picture is what it looked like before, and then it became chocolate milk after. And how much you want to bet there was a bunch of dead fish and other wildlife in that? And that's the thing, right? Like, okay, so DeWine's sitting there talking about, like, oh, the dead fish problem. It's like, dude, it's not even just dead fish. There's video of dead fish and dead frogs and shit like that in those various rivers and like streams and shit, dude. And not only that, but then you also have turtles. You have, I'm trying to think what else would be in there. So let's see, you would have like little minnows, you'd have bigger fish like catfish and bass and bluegill and everything like that. You would have the frogs that we saw in there, most likely a bunch of tadpoles as well on that one. You would have bigger turtles like snapping turtles, or even little smaller ones like box turtles and stuff like that in there. You would have various snakes, whether it be water moccasins or like big, black snakes or whatever the case be. That would just be like, I forget their actual name is what it is. But yeah, it would just be various snakes that use the watersheds and stuff like that to like zip across like a water and then go to the other side and stuff like that into the forest areas and stuff. So they would be affected by that as well. You would have potential rodent populations now being killed off, whether it be, moles or mice. Obviously, rabbits would be affected by this. You would have, your bigger animals, or like medium-sized animals, basically, like your raccoon populations are now going to be decimated. You're going to have your possum populations be decimated. You would have, obviously, the squirrel populations that are really small little, basically tree rats is what it is. they would be devastated from this. And then we get into the things like deer and stuff like that, or feral hogs in the state of Ohio that are, near the Ohio, West Virginia border area there and stuff like that. Because they would be drinking the water supplies there. If nothing else, they're drinking that shit and then keeling over. Same thing with the deer population. Same thing with all these other animals that would go to a river and be like, start licking up some water and stuff like that. And then eventually it just like dies what it is, dude. Because they're drinking toxic chemicals and not even realizing it. And yeah, it's a shit show, dude. Not only that, like I said, the household pets, your cats, your dogs, everything like that, dude, that are being affected by this shit now. And it's bad stuff, man. It is bad stuff all the way around, man. So, and then you got this person here saying a good one. It said, this is from the cloud that was created, by the way, for this whole thing. Said, evidence of space aliens. No, that's just Biden's Ohio Chernobyl. Yeah, that was the fucking ash cloud that was created from that whole thing, dude. Oh my god. It just, oh my god, dude. The shit makes me sick to my stomach, honestly, right now, dude. For real. And we got a reminder that the people not reporting on this supposedly had your health as their top priority over the past 3 years. Exactly, dude. And we got this Evan guy saying 12 minutes ago, tens of thousands of pounds of toxic chemicals have polluted the air, water, and soil in East Palestine, Ohio, and the Biden administration is nowhere to be found. Yep. 42 minutes ago, don't tell me it's safe. Residents of East Palestine expressed fears about returning home after it's revealed there were more toxic chemicals on derailed Ohio train than originally reported, and thousands of livestock are now dead. I would like to see the pictures of that one, by the way, because I don't. It's hard to trust that stuff, dude, honestly. So I'm actually going to go ahead and click on that Daily Mail UK article there and see if it actually does bring up actual photo evidence and stuff like that or whatever. Because if not, then I'm going to call bullshit on that until I actually see video or until I either see video evidence or until I see photo evidence of the stuff. I'm going to call bullshit on that. So, but yeah, okay. So here you go. Here's all the different things there. Are they actually going to show dead animals or not? Come on, where's the livestock, dude? You're telling me there's dead livestock, but I don't see any right now. But again, right there, this shows what we're talking about, dude. Ohio National Guard crews in literal fucking hazmat suits, and they're trying to claim that the fucking air quality there is safe. Bullshit it is, dude. No, you motherfuckers know it's not safe, and yet you're letting people stay in that fucking town. You need to be held to account on top of that, dude. That is accessory to mass murder at this point, dude. That's exactly what that shit is, honestly. So, yeah, and then they got this various little weird line. I forget what these are called offhand, but it's like some kind of like boom system or whatever the case be to stop like the flow. It's essentially a man-made dam is what it is. It's to stop like the water from the one side getting to the other side is what it is. The problem is, unless you would have done that to begin with, like right before you released everything, dude, it's still gonna get in the water supply no matter what, and it's already getting past a lot of that shit, dude. So, yeah, let's see. Various residents coming home. Nope, doesn't show any dead livestock there. So, yeah, that does bother me though. It says a bunch of dead livestock or whatever. It doesn't actually show that stuff. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so residents of their homes, some reporting burning sensations and persistent coughs. Local farmers have also claimed that livestock are suddenly dropping dead. State officials say that more than 3,000 fish across 7.5 miles of streams have also died. That is a lot of fucking fish, by the way. Like, you're 3,000 fish, dude. You're talking about that would be an entire pond or small lake and stuff like that that's gone now. So that means you have entire waterways now that are just completely barren of fucking fish now, dude. So there goes any kind of food source in that place for years to come, is what it is. And that's the thing, man. Those I've seen what happens with fish die-offs and stuff like that, dude. That's from like natural causes, like various. Actually, it was over where I used to fish over there in the neighbor's place. I walked out one day, threw my line in, didn't realize there was a bunch of dead fish up, belly up and stuff like that. And then we figured out what happened was the dude turned off the what do you call it now? I'm trying to think what the name is for it. There's a couple different names for it actually, but basically it allows it to oxygen. It's like an oxygenator thing for the water and shit like that. And what it does is it basically keeps oxygen levels cool so that fish are gonna, remain alive. Basically, he flipped that off one night, and then you had this weird like pressure drop from cold weather hitting into like the kind of hot slash warm pond over there, and it basically was those two pressure drops together that created like this crazy like oxygen suck that allowed for a bunch of fish to keel over, is what it was, and killed them because they had no oxygen to actually breathe, is what it was then. And it took, I believe, about 2 years for that pond to even come back. And that was because some of the fish were able to actually go way down under and survive in like the deeper part of the actual thing. Is still a little bit of oxygen there, is what it was. But yeah, it took a couple, like probably like a few dozen school, like I'm guessing it was probably like a few dozen or so in a school of fish to bring that pond back to what it was, and it took them 2 years to basically do it, is what it was. So the fact that you're talking about entire river basins right now that have nothing left in them, dude, that would have to completely be restocked over the next several years or whatever after being cleaned up and shit like that, dude. Yeah, you're talking about entire just dead zones when it comes to animal life now, dude. And it is truly frightening. Honestly, it really is. And it does scare the shit out of me right now, dude, because I know for a fact that my family has lake property very close to East Palestine. I'm wondering if we're not gonna have fish kills there now. Because the worst thing is we actually eat from that pond, dude. We've eaten from that pond every couple of years. We've done a catch and cook, basically. We've done a fry up of various crappie and bluegill and stuff like that, those ponds. So yeah, it's very disturbing to think that it could be a very much kill off again. And the thing is, it's not like that has been killed off before. Like that's the thing as well. It was some years back now when my uncle was still alive. You had the douchebag neighbors up the road from them where I believe the guy was doing illegal stuff when it came to, well, basically he was doing like legal stuff is what it was, as like a car mechanic or something. The problem was he was doing illegal dumping as well on that one. And then basically going and doing, how much should I say this now? Yeah, he was illegally dumping out like various like used oil and shit like that. And what happened was it was doing it in like some little weird like catch pond or whatever. That then you had a bunch of rainfall catch into and start leaching down the fucking like hillside, basically is what it was. And it eventually went to my aunt and uncle's lake, is what it was there. And yeah, you started having a bunch of kill offs there, and it decimated that fucking lake for at least a good 7 years, honestly, dude. Before we finally got the shit cleaned up and they were able to come back from it. So you're talking about, again, that was still populations of fish that were able to survive from that. They never had to restock that thing because you had enough down area from that where it was a grandfathered in lake, because obviously the current lakes around this area, I believe the maximum they can go to dig is like 8 or 10 feet or something like that. My uncle's lake down there where they lived, or I should say where he lived, my aunt still lives there is what it is. That particular large lake is over 25 feet deep. So you easily had, multiple shelving areas in that to where you could have fish basically suspend is what it is and be able to survive that. But again, it still took like 6-7 years before it was all said and done and we could actually fish that again and be able to catch decent quality fish again then. So, and that was just one fucking thing. So God forbid you don't know what the hell's in this shit. Again, it's a mixture of everything, dude, whether it be vinyl chloride or whether it be other various stuff that's going to create hydrogen, acids and shit like that, acid rain for God's sakes. And it's like, fucking hell, man. I'm going to jump onto YouTube real quick so I can grab this link, since I can't do it from my side right now. So let me go ahead and click on that link. Okay, it's talking about Germany raids homes over hate speech and insults on social media. So again, that's the big thing there, right? And we've seen that stuff in the UK too as well. The big thing with those countries is they don't actually have a constitution that grants them freedom of speech, is what it is. And that's why you see so many Democrats and rhinos and stuff like that in America currently that are also attacking freedom of speech, is what it is then. because they understand that if they can actually get rid of our constitutional rights, that we will be able to be arrested for stupid shit like that's what it is, dude. It's like, oh, you want to call out some news reporter? Oh, nope, 10 years in prison now, or whatever the case be. And it's like, that's fucking ridiculous, dude, entirely. So, or it would be something like I'm reporting on right now with the whole disaster here in East Palestine, dude. It's like, oh, no, you can't talk about that, Adam. No, you can't say anything about that, bro. No, fuck that. I'll say exactly what I goddamn well want to, motherfuckers. Because I have the freedom of speech to do that stuff. And I'll talk about holding people criminally accountable with death penalty sentences and stuff like that, because they need to be at this point, honestly, man. So, anyway. This is actually going somebody put up in the Ohio Chernobyl one, where it was talking about Biden's dumbass. Biden tests positive for moronovirus. So, yeah, the moron. We got Salty Cracker talking about now 2 hours ago. 11 days to respond to the Ohio Chernobyl. They want you dead. Yep, and that was Buddy Gig 20 hours ago saying, I continue to be concerned by the impacts of the February 3rd train derailment. Yeah, fuck you, Pete. Fuck you, Pete, you sack of shit. Fucking douchebag. Let's see, this was 10 hours ago. Woman finds all her chickens dead 10 miles from East Palestine, Ohio, following the major deadly release of toxic chemicals. Chickens slowly down and died. If it can do this to chickens in a night, imagine what it will do to us in 20 years. Oh, it wouldn't take 20 years, dude. It would take about 20 months, probably, is my guess, honestly, at this point. Yeah, fucking disgusting, dude. Yep, that's just another reason, honestly, to have that shit like enclosed in some part of your house. Would that be the case then? To where your air quality can actually be controlled then, and it won't be, so, okay, that's the one that we were talking about yesterday with that Amanda woman. I think that was it. I think that's actually some part of Pennsylvania she lives in too. It's like 3-5 miles, something like that, from the East Palestine border is what it is then. See, we got this Lucas Gage guy. Something fishy about the train derailment situation. If you have an open mind, hear me out. Yeah, we're not going to watch that guy's 12-minute video. Needless to say, I'm sure it's the same kind of shit I've been talking about for the past 10 days or so is what it is, dude, honestly. So, let's see anything else we're talking about here. I was trying to find the ones that were like the most recent here. Let's see, an hour ago. Pay attention. This is not something to dismiss. Air, soil, water, animals, humans are at great risk. Ohio River, right at the blast site, is the third largest discharge estuary in which volumes of its water flow to millions of people. It connects with the Mississippi River. This explosion is a crisis of mass proportions. Yeah, like we're saying, dude. Like we've already talked about that yesterday, actually. So you got City of Ohio up here in that little red dot, and then it goes down to Tennessee and stuff like that, all the way down to Mississippi and over into Texas and shit, dude. So yeah, you're talking about an ecological disaster that could affect like half of this fucking country, pretty much is what it is. And yet nobody seems to give a shit enough about it, dude. Mainstream media, the national mainstream media, I'm talking about people like your ABCs, NBCs, etc., dude. It's a blip on their fucking radar. I was watching World News all this past week or so, dude, with this whole thing, and I think they talked about it one time. It was like David Muir or somebody like that on ABC was all like, oh yeah, there's a train derailment in Ohio. Moving on, like 10 seconds later, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, dude, this is a serious fucking problem. It's insane. Anyway, you had Jesse Waters from Fox News here talking to some Ohio resident guy. Resident of Ohio town where massive inferno toxic spill happened shocks Jesse Waters after saying he's already getting sick. Quote, if all these people say it's safe, then why does it hurt? Let's go ahead and listen to that, actually.
No, we were evacuated for that. They released. Our next guest lives on one side of the tracks where the train crashed and works on the other side.
Fair use, by the way, on
small
this.
Engine repair shops and raising money to help his family. Nathan Velez is here with us now. So you're not really buying what the public officials are telling you about this. Why are you so suspicious?
Well, it's not that I'm suspicious. It's just they haven't really told me anything useful. And when they did tell us, we were already given the okay to go home. So there was people already home, And then they released all of the chemicals that were also within that wreck.
Wow.
Oh, so they told you to return home and then did that controlled explosion?
What the fuck, man?
No. We were evacuated for that. They released the manifest of what else was burned after we were already home.
Now, have you noticed anything crazy? People are seeing all kinds of wild stuff. Does it smell funky? Is the water all murky? What are you seeing?
Well, the water, it's hard to see because there's a lot of hazmat employees and people still cleaning it up. But as far as the smell, that's definitely present. I came today where we are right now at my shop. This is the first time I've been here in a week. And I was here 5 minutes and I have a headache right now. And you can smell it. Anyone who comes here who hasn't been here can smell it. Your cameraman smelled it.
Oh my God.
It gives you a headache. He'll probably have one. Yeah, it's not. And then my house is just across the track. The tracks are right behind me on the other side of that wall. There's a creek, then the train. And my house is on the other side of that, and it smells too. And you can't spend a lot of time here without feeling like crap. And my question is why, if it's okay, if it's safe, and all these people say it's safe, if it's so safe and okay, then why does it hurt?
And you have children?
I do, yeah. I have a son and a daughter, a 9-year-old and a 1.5-year-old.
And they're back in school, or what's the plan here?
Well, she don't go to school yet, but my son does, and they opened today. But we didn't take him because we are not staying here. We haven't been here. We've been staying at an Airbnb in Canfield, and we couldn't figure out if we could take him back. We contacted the school. We don't have a straight answer because they want us to still be residents, but technically we still are. Everything's confusing. Everything is pure chaos right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. All right, listen, I hope, Nathan, you get better, and I hope it's not as dangerous as some of these reports are. We hope your family's okay, and this thing gets straightened out, because I don't trust what they're telling us. I know you don't either. Thanks so much for joining us.
The thing is, how could you trust what they're fucking telling you when you're living in it, dude? It's like, oh no, the water and the air are safe. Why am I fucking coughing up blood then? You know, kind of shit. Like, that's what it is, dude. Like, seriously, fuck me, man. Like, it's just insane, dude. And they want us to believe that bullshit. Like, hell no, bro. I don't believe a fucking thing the government's telling me at this point. I don't believe a fucking thing the mainstream media is telling me at this point. I'm looking for it with my own fucking eyes, dude. Shit, one of these days I'm gonna take my fucking phone outside and do a stream outside for fucking 10 minutes is what it is, dude. And see if I start fucking having breathing problems then, for God's sakes. And maybe then I'll be able to fucking do it myself if that be the case, dude. Shit, I might walk outside and see a bunch of fucking birds all over the ground and shit. I'm surprised that hasn't happened at this point, honestly, dude. We haven't seen a bunch of fucking flocks of birds just dead on the fucking ground from this shit. So, anyway. Yeah, and this was 5 minutes ago. Somebody was talking about DeWine's little bullshit press conference today. Yep, breaking East Palestine. Doctors seem to gloss over health effects. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine brings doctors to explain effects of toxins such as vinyl chloride from toxic train derailment on humans. This is the Ohio Chernobyl. Should someone resign? Everybody should resign in disgrace and should be fucking charged criminally, dude. Seriously.
And the fact is that, for the most part, most of the chemicals that we're worried about and that we're talking about fall into a category known as volatile organic chemicals. And you heard that mentioned or compounds. Now, volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, it's important for us to recognize, are actually a part of our everyday life. So if you go this afternoon on your way home to pump gas in your car, you're being exposed to volatile organic compounds. You are. If you are burning wood or natural gas in your home, you're being exposed. And certainly, if you are smoking or you live with someone who smokes, you're being exposed to actually fairly substantial levels of volatile organic compounds.
What the? Oh my God. Okay, so first of all, buddy, you're talking about legitimately super small doses with both pumping gas and everything else like that. And of course, if you're talking about, fucking smoking and health effects from that and stuff like that, obviously it's a bigger effect. The thing of it is, though, it's not fucking having a goddamn fucking giant smoke plume dropped on top of you, though, buddy boy. And this motherfucker is supposed to be the health director for the state, by the way. Like, this is this fucking guy right here, man. This fucking, I forget what this guy's name is offhand right now, but this fucking ass clown in the fucking white jacket there, dude. This is the fucking douchebag that DeWine put in place after that piece of shit Amy Acton fucked us over for 400 days of tyranny in this state, dude. When she resigned like 300 something days is what it was. And it's like, this is the fucking Bruce guy that's supposed to be like the head health director person of Ohio right now, dude. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? You need to resign in disgrace, dude, and be fucking stripped of any medical license you ever have there, buddy. And the same thing with all the rest of these fucking assholes entirely. Like, I am so sick of these fucking people. By the way, for those interested, I threw the link to the panel out in the description because I'm going to finish up here in a couple minutes and I'll be able to bullshit in the back chat. But yeah, I'm just, oh my God. I am just, again, what I was talking about last night with that fucking nervous worry and just stomach problems and, just that whole, gut just feeling all shitty and stuff like that. I feel like that again today, dude. Mom's feeling all fucked up today, too, from the whole thing. She's left the house twice in the past 2 days to go get food and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's getting serious fucking contamination on her ass now. So actually, this person said it correct here with the good old set of memes here, which was the various train derailments. Train derailment in Ohio, train derailment in South Carolina, train derailment in Texas. What's going on? Chinese spy balloons and alien UFOs. Yeah. Yep. Sounds about right. Although, to be fair, I mean, the Texas one, did hit like an 18-wheeler, but that could have been a sabotage thing as well, by the way. South Carolina one, we're still not sure if that had hazardous chemicals on the thing. Yeah, I know I saw that. Fucking, yeah, that meme of Ohio. Just leave. Yeah. People have always given shit. That's the thing. People have always given shit to this state, and I'm just like, no, I'm going to defend my state, But now I'm just like, fuck, man. I'm going to have to leave the state now. Is what it is. I really don't want to. Like, I love Ohio. But seeing what they've done to my fucking city and my state and everything else like that, dude, and my fucking towns around it and stuff, it's like, fuck all y'all, man. Seriously. Fucking government. So. And the thing is, it's not like I can just move to like Indiana or fucking Pennsylvania or something like that because they're fucked too, is what it is, man. Same thing with all the surrounding states there. Let's see, Ohio, just like the rest of the country, is starting to realize why they shouldn't elect a weak, incompetent imbecile as their quote leader. Hope for the sake it's not too late. So they're tagging Mike DeWine in that one. So they're talking about DeWine being a competent leader, or they're talking about Biden being a competent leader. I'm not sure which. Maybe both, even for that matter. Again, like I said, man, when you had 4 people that were writing candidates on that list of folks, but you only had DeWine and Nan Whaley's names actually on the fucking ballot, it's like it's hard to tell, So, anyway, throw my headphones on then because we got some people jumping in the back chat now. So. What's going on?
What's going on, Ohio?
Oh, hoping
you know what I vote?
You
know what I vote, brother?
That I moved to Texas?
I vote that. Go ahead.
No. What were you going to say?
I vote that everybody in Ohio right now needs to switch with all the fucking politicians and let the politicians come live in this shithole and see if they ain't singing a different tune in a couple of days.
Well, like I said, I've been calling out my state reps for not even my state reps. It's like all the state reps in the state of Ohio in the last couple of days, and nobody said even been there to talk to me anymore. So I don't know if they did a vacation today for Valentine's Day or what the hell it was. But it's like, nah, man, get back to fucking work and get some legislation passed already.
They're probably not even in the state because they know the dangers.
Yep.
Don't do as they say, do as they do.
Yep.
If they're running for the hills, you better fucking run
alien
too.
invasion coming soon to a city near you.
Oh yeah, all this is just a distraction from shit that they don't want us to see or talk about.
That's a good meme. Today, I solved racism at construction sites. Good old Pete. Fucking idiot. Let's see what this guy said 14 minutes ago. Need to come together against corporate greed. It's enough, whether it's guns. What the fuck? That was a corporate greed for being armed. Poisonous food or environmental disaster. It all comes down to the same thing, money and greed. Of course, it's always some leftist that makes it about guns first. People.
Yeah.
You got Pete biking away from the plume. That's a good one. I like that one.
Oh, Pete butt plug?
Yep. Yeah, just people memeing his ass now. Let's see. Yep, doing their best to hide the truth there. Body cam release of the footage.
I want to know what really caused these train derailments, because now there's 3 of them. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, we know the Texas one it hit an 18-wheeler or whatever. But again, that could have been, sabotage from some sleeper cell or whatever. You got the South Carolina one that it might have been something. There was a guy here in Ohio that was talking about it who's been with the infrastructure people for like 20 years or whatever for the trains and stuff. And he was talking about, I guess, the way that the bearings are on the wheels or whatever, that it's been rusting out for decades now or whatever, and they just haven't bothered fixing it. And so it was just basically waiting to happen, and it was bearing that basically popped loose or whatever. Because you can see it was where it derailed there in East Palestine. There was like where Salem, Ohio is at, is about 20 miles past back from it or whatever. And there's other video here someplace where it shows sparks flying off the one bearing is what it is, and that's what actually caused the one train to derail off the tracks is what it was, and that became a chain reaction from there. So, but yeah, it's just a giant fucking shit show either way.
That one in Texas, yeah, granted 18 was a hell of a lot bigger, and that's plausible. But I know someone that I grew up with. I mean, we weren't like close friends or anything. We were just more of acquaintances. But he actually died in a car accident from hitting a train. It was dark on his way home from work. I don't know the whole story, but I know his truck ended up underneath one of the tanker train cars, like halfway, and that train didn't fucking derail. Yeah. Like I said, I know 18-wheelers are bigger and more powerful than a fucking pickup truck, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then people were talking about Norfolk Southern was part of a lobbying group that successfully pressed President Donald Trump to repeal a 2015 rule requiring newer and safer electric braking systems on all trains. Which I wouldn't be surprised that was part of an omnibus bill under Trump's administration, because they show so many things in those fucking things.
500 Magnum, I agree, dude. I couldn't leave Texas. I would die here. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I don't want to die, but that's still being said.
All right, let's see what else is going on Twitter there. We'll actually talk about that one for a minute, though. Did you see that picture there with the Colorado River before Obama tossed a bunch of fucking chemicals from a mine into it?
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking disgusting. Good old chocolate milk. Yeah.
I just don't understand how these fucking people, they're still not being held accountable.
They never will.
Never will.
It won't be held accountable until they're charged with death penalty sentences at this point. Until we see public executions on national TV, nothing's going to change.
Public tarring and feathering, I say we bring that shit back. I'm not kidding. And
then I find it very ironic here today that fucking DeWine's Twitter account throws out the thing about organ donation and saving 8 lives, and it's like, are you telling people of East Palestine to donate their organs and stuff like that, dude? Because I'm pretty sure they're gonna be dead pretty soon. Like,
right,
come on,
man. I'm pretty sure even if they did, their organs would be useless after all these chemicals.
I actually called out the Chandra O'Brien woman yesterday on Twitter about, hey, do your job and introduce legislation to hold Norfolk Southern accountable. Still hasn't gotten back to me.
That one that happened in Texas and Houston, because Houston's a vast area, okay? There's a lot of subdivisions and a lot of, because Houston has grown exponentially and it's swallowed up smaller little towns and shit. So did it say exactly where in Houston it happened?
It was like, I forget exactly what town it was in now. It was it specifically stated the county. So I'm not sure exactly where that would be at.
Was it Harris County?
Maybe. Let me go look it up real quick because it should tell us real fast as soon as we look up Texas train derailment.
Oh, that's cool. 500. Reason I ask because I'm actually from that area. Where?
Splendora.
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 Yeah, Splendora. Yeah, I've heard of it. I'm not exactly sure where it's at because I'm actually from around the Houston area. I was born in Harris County, which encompasses a lot of Houston.
Yeah, because that was a day ago. I was talking about that on local news there. And it was talking about Texas train derails and collision with 18-wheeler, leaving one driver dead.
Jesus.
Yeah. Collision triggers deadly train derailment. That was from NBC News a day ago. 13 hours ago, Texas train derailment occurs just days after Ohio disaster.
Convenient,
actually. Yeah.
Now the South Carolina one, was that just was it after the Houston or was it before the Houston?
Houston would have been yesterday morning, like 8 or 9 a.m. local time, and then I think the one in South Carolina was like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So.
Oh shit! So it was like bam, bam. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Let's see. China calls Ohio train crash Ohio Chernobyl as it mocks U.S. for carrying too much about spy balloons. Fuck China in general. Let's see. Investigate continues into train derailment in Sparrowisburg County. That was 30 minutes ago. Let's see.
If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to name like the actual town or anything. I don't want you to give too much information, Magnum. But what part of Texas is he a lineman in? But yeah, they're definitely hiding. I don't know. This is just convenient how they're not really talking about it. They're trying to distract you with fucking aliens.
The thing of it is too, and it makes me wonder, but it also is like, again, it's something I've been talking about for years now. It's like, when are we going to fix the infrastructure of these trains and the tracks and everything else like that? And it makes sense why you'd have various disasters when you don't have fucking proper brand new wheels and brand new track, and you have this stuff that's been sitting there 50, 60, 70 years and rusted out completely. It's like, it's just disasters waiting to happen.
Yeah. What's up, Bjorn?
Like, it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. It's just getting it fixed. And it's like, if you're going to pump trillions of dollars into a fucking infrastructure, like, the first thing that should be fixed is your railroads, for God's sakes.
Has anyone, like anyone of significant, gone in and started testing the waters yet? And if so, is there a way to filter these chemicals out?
And are you talking about like an independent person, or are you just talking about like whatever?
No, well, independent corporation. It doesn't matter.
Has done testing. People from Norfolk Southern, which we don't trust at all, have done their own testing, claimed it's all safe or whatever. We need independent people like Erin Brockovich on the ground at this point, is what needs to happen. And she has not shown up yet, as far as I'm aware. So if she can get it done.
Erin Brockovich?
Huh?
How old is Erin Brockovich? Because I don't know that story that they made a movie from was.
Yeah, she was talking about the stuff the other day, actually. So.
Okay. Is there a way to filter any of these chemicals out?
It would be hard. She is 62 right now. So, but yeah, she was talking about JD Vance and stuff like that yesterday and whatnot. And then she got, this is local news for her, talking about East Palestine and whatnot here. As of 6 hours ago, asked Biden to step up as people fall sick and animals are dying. Brockovich demands Biden step up now on Ohio train derailment. 2 hours ago, Brockovich speaks out on East Palestine train derailment. And that would be the local, like, East Palestine thing right there, 6 hours ago. Yes, environmentalist, consumer advocate Aaron Brockovich calling out Biden to do more for residents of East Palestine following train derailment that released vinyl chloride in village. Brockovich posted on Twitter Monday night that Biden administration is not doing enough. So Biden's administration needs to get more involved in the train derailment now. We are counting on you to break the chain of administration after administration to turn a blind eye. Comments follow Brockovich made last week on News Nation in an exclusive interview where she said she is skeptical of government reports at the extent of contamination either in the water or the air from the chemical release. Post on Twitter on Monday could be related to the administrative reluctance dating back 10 years when railroad lobbyists urged lawmakers to not implement protocols that would be costly or restrictive when hauling hazardous chemicals, including a, quote, high hazard designation, which even DeWine called it out today. He's like, why the hell was this train not considered a high hazard designation when it clearly had that much chemical crap on it is what it is.
Yeah.
So specifically 2017, regulators nixed provisions that would mandate all rail cars carrying hazardous flammable materials to be equipped with electronic braking systems to stop trains more quickly, called electronically controlled something or other, ECP brakes. Said U.S. Department of Transportation wrote in 2017, it is rescinded the idea of mandating ECPs for the following reason. Quote, this determination was made with congressionally mandated input from the National Academy of Sciences Transportation Research Board, U.S. General Accountability Office, and studies for the ERA, which found that the cost-benefit analysis is not sufficiently justifiable for mandating such braking systems. Bunch of bullshit, dude. They just didn't want to fucking spend the goddamn money is what it was. Bunch of scumbags.
So I have a question.
So,
do you think the firefighters or whoever is over training them should be held accountable too for burning those chemicals, which made it even worse?
So you're talking about the Ohio EPA or who? Because it was a mix of I think it was a mix of multiple people. It was the Ohio EPA, but it was also like NTSB people as well in that one, and I think Norfolk Southern also had their input on it as well. So,
because
I don't know.
you and I were talking before
at this point.
Yeah, because like you and I were talking before about H2S and shit. When it's burnt, it's even more of a deadly chemical than
What is
H2S.
that? What's that one again? Is it the one that comes out of the ground naturally or something when you're fracking or something?
Yeah, there's pockets of it because it's very dangerous when you're drilling for either gas or oil or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different pockets in the earth and stuff. And like I said, when it gets to like high parts per million, it'll kill you instantly.
Mm-hmm.
But I know offshore rigs and stuff, they burn the H2S, which turns it into even more of a deadly chemical that just will fucking kill you instantly. H2S will too. Like I told you, I heard accounts before, where people just dropping dead because you smell like a rotten egg smell. But by the time you smell it, it's already too late. You're dead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
so I don't know. They should know that those chemicals burned would have a deadlier effect or not. The ones that are in control of it. So it should say like a warning label or something somewhere, don't burn this chemical.
Yeah, the problem is, again, it goes back to I think just complete idiocy is what it is, honestly. It's just people that don't know what the fuck they're even doing half the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people that are being put in positions of power they have no business holding. It's the idiots being given fucking positions that they should be elected into is what it is. Specifically, transportation secretary at this point. And yeah, it's just a bunch of jackassery is what it is. And they're just like, oh no, it's not my fault that everything fucked up. It's like, it's your fucking job to beat this person, dude. Like, if you're not doing the job, get the hell out. Let somebody else have the job that's actually going to do their damn job. So, I don't know anymore. It's just, I didn't think I was going to die of a chemical exposure at this point, honestly, at the age of 38, to be honest with you. I hope I still don't, honestly. But, like, It feels like that way, honestly, at this point, man.
And I know, what was it? Krabby Turtle a while ago made a comment about things to do in Ohio leave.
Yeah.
You know, that's all well and good, but I mean, shit, the people that are, in the hot spot right now, they've lost everything. It's so hard to start over from scratch, if you ain't got the money, and you can't, take some of your, like, you can't sell that property. Who the fuck's going to buy that property? It's worthless.
It's a dead zone now.
Exactly.
So,
so just uprooting is going to be damn near impossible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the problem. And I think they're actually banking on that in many cases because they're like, oh, well, you can't really go anywhere, and here's some money that we're going to give you, but we're not really going to give you money at all. We're giving you a fucking bullshit handout that you're going to screw them out of actually getting a real payday later on.
Mm-hmm.
Which is exactly what they were doing yesterday. Norfolk Southern was trying to give them $1,000 checks, is what it was.
$1,000 ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah, they're like, oh, here's $1,000 check for your inconvenience to leave the fucking town. Oh, by the way, you can't sue us later on because that was your payout. Fucking ridiculous.
I don't know.
So,
that's a joke. Yeah. Fucking Maryland stand. That's funny. Magnum, that's actually a good question. It's hard to narrow it down to just one specific gun. Now, if you said maybe revolver, pistol, shotgun, rifle, be a little easier, but just one in particular, I don't know. But if you're going revolver route, since you said Anaconda, I mean, the Manhurans are really nice. I love the old Webleys, the break top action revolver. I don't know. How you doing? I know I'm gonna butcher your name, but Faride. What do you think? What is your opinion on the gun?
What gun are we talking about?
Magnum's asked, in y'all's opinion, what would you say is the best looking gun ever made? In my opinion, it's the Colt Anaconda.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It really is.
Probably
some
so kind
many.
of rifle would be my guess, honestly. Actually, I was thinking about this earlier because I saw a meme where people were talking about gun accessibility, and it was basically a giant vending machine for firearms.
I saw that meme, yeah.
The problem with that is I don't think you can make it big enough to get a whole gun out of it. So you'd have to do it in like a two set of them, where one on the one side would be uppers for ARs, and the other side would be the full lower.
Do you like a fucking claw machine?
Only grab it. Well, the problem with that is you're doing claw machine, that would just scratch the shit out of the finish and stuff like that, probably. So,
if you have like rubber on the tips of the claws,
maybe. I don't know. I'm just making jokes, obviously, at this point, but not seriously though. I would like to have certain things like that. That would be pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's ever going to come to fruition, though. So it's whatever. Man can dream,
right?
If you're not dreaming, you're dying. Maybe both sometimes, actually, depending on where you're at. Fuck. I don't know anymore, though. I think we're all kind of fucked at this point. It all depends exactly where it's going to be popping off at. So.
Mm-hmm. Just makes you wonder, with everything going on this year, if the history books are going to look back on this time and say, this was the start of World War III.
Probably just be like, this is the start of the genocidal years or
yeah,
something
it
like that. Is
started.
what we'll go down as.
Insert title. This is a start of.
Yeah. This is the time that we went there, and then we never came back from it at all because we couldn't.
Yeah, if you believe the government, this is the start of the alien invasion.
I mean, to be fair, like if we're gonna talk about that, it all depends on what kind of aliens will be coming down, if they're fuckable or not.
I hope in part some of the aliens look like E.T. just for Duke.
Yeah, probably one or two. I'm sure one will find him, try to probe him.
Yeah,
And it
who
turns
doesn't love
out
a
the
good
probing was
AK?
actually just a friend.
It's just a what?
I said the probing was actually just them trying to say they wanted to be his friend.
Yeah.
Wasn't actually trying to probe him at all. So I don't know. Shit's about to get real, though. I think.
I don't believe in aliens, but at this point, fucking dude, anything's possible.
Yep. Yeah, it could be.
Have you seen that video of it looked like it was a dash cam of like an 18-wheeler, and they were parked on the side of the road because another 18-wheeler was hauling something on its flatbed, and I think it has some government vehicles in front and behind of it.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it was one of the objects that were shot down that are the size of a small car. Have you seen that video?
I saw some of it where it was them basically just showing like covered tents or whatever it is, basically.
I saw that video and you couldn't see what it was because it was covered up.
Yeah, exactly. It's just object covering.
But the shape of it was round-ish, so makes you wonder: is that video true? Is that one of the objects shot down? Why cover it up? Why not just say, "Hey, this is what was shot down," and show everybody?
Yeah.
I'm so fucking sick and tired of the government, holding everything a secret.
Yep. I think we all are, honestly, at this point.
It's like, at this point, I'm a big boy. I can handle the truth.
Yep.
I would rather fucking know than you just hide it from me. And if it is, say, aliens, then I'd rather know now. That way we can start preparing for, an invasion, so to speak, air quotes intended.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think only time will tell, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I remember that 500 Magnum. They said it was bath salts or some shit that he was smoking or consuming. I've actually seen videos that come out of one came out of Mexico. I don't know the timeline. They made it seem like it was real recent, but apparently there was a zombie in Mexico.
Yeah,
you could hear it growling and it was moving in unusual manners, unlike a typical human. So that would be cool. I would love a zombie apocalypse. I think that'd be cool.
Everybody says that until you got to go take a shit, carrying a gun with you at all times.
You don't already?
Obviously, but that's a different story altogether, though, is what it is. I'm saying everybody would have to do that now, and people are like, I don't want to be armed, knows what it is.
Yeah. No, I don't want nothing bad to happen. It's just me being sarcastic. I know some people can't handle it, don't understand my sarcasm.
Yeah.
And there's times where I can have some dark humor as well. But I think I'd rather have a zombie apocalypse than an alien invasion.
Yeah. What about if it's zombie aliens?
Then we're fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all fucking crazy. Let's see if there's anything else going on before we finish up today here.
Yeah, 500. Anything's possible, man.
Well, apparently we found out what Greta's doing now instead of doing climate stuff. She's now making a climate Bible, apparently.
Oh my god, that chick hasn't been alive long enough to fucking know anything. She needs to sit down, shut the fuck up, and wait about 20 years before she can actually interject anything. I mean, she's what, fucking 18, 19?
Yeah, she's whatever age Rittenhouse is.
Yeah, I know they were born on the same day, so shut the fuck up, you drunk bitch. At least Rittenhouse has a little bit of life experience because he went through something that most adults, including ourselves, have never been through. He has something to talk about. What is she? She's just a fucking plant, so she needs to shut the fuck up. She's drunk. Go back home.
Yep. Yeah, Van's trying to claim there's going to be an investigation over East Palestine. I doubt it will be, though. It's like, come on, man. Just introduce legislation or be done with it. At least then you would act like you're doing something. I mean, hell, it's like, who besides Ted Cruz is from Texas now, and then you also got South Carolina people as well. It's like, get together with those guys and be like, we've had training almost in all these states now. Let's introduce joint legislation or something like that.
Right.
Hold these people accountable criminally or whatever. Yeah, that is a nice looking blue house in front of that big old ash cloud, but I don't think I want to live there anymore, though.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, the sad part is this town looks like the town I'm in right now. Very, very similar. Just a small Ohio town, usually. Got some houses, maybe a post office someplace there, and then maybe a bar or something over on the corner there or something like that, and et cetera, et cetera. So,
see, I know and don't misconstrue this because I feel bad for everything involved, okay? But the people have a choice in this matter. They can get up and they can leave the affected area. I feel bad for all these fucking animals, dude.
Yeah.
Because they have no choice.
Nope.
Not the ones that have already died. I mean, it's fucking horrible because it's literally fucking with y'all's environment ecosystem there. Because if all the fish and animals are dying, you won't have any local food to sustain you other than what you can get around you that hasn't been affected. But how soon will that start drying up?
Yeah, exactly.
And
well, not only that,
the animals, they don't have a choice. They can't get up and just leave. They don't know what's going on. They don't know all the water's poison now. I better not drink it.
Well, not only that, but also besides the animals, all the plant life that would be decimated as well from this.
Yeah, like I was telling you the other day, if it was radiation, you could at least plant a shit ton of fucking sunflowers and they could pull the radiation out of the ground to make it, fertile again. How are you going to do that with this fucking chemical waste spill?
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm not an expert in that field. Yeah. Of course, I'm not an expert in anything. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. But no, dude, man, it's a fucked up situation, and I feel like no one's taking it as serious as it is. They're trying to sweep this shit under the rug.
Yep, that's what they've all done. Well, then you look at how many people are actually bought and paid for by these places like Norfolk Southern, and it's like it's a lot. It's pretty much, I don't know if it's the entire state of Ohio, but there's a lot of legislators that are for sure. Because it's campaign funds donated to them. It's various fucking backdoor bribes and stuff like that, householder style, that have been given to them that nobody's talking about on both sides of the aisle. And
at this point, I would be on the news. I'd be going to like news channels. I'd be, making posts all over the internet saying they're lying to us. They're covering shit up. I mean, whether it's true or not, at this point, what difference does it make? Because they do it all the time. They're allowed to lie and give you false information, and at least if you create a big enough fucking fuss about it, it would hopefully catch on and start garnering more attention.
There was
Because it is a
supposedly
serious situation.
going on today right now in the State House. But as far as I can tell, their aides are not in office today for some reason.
Yeah. I think Bjorn was asking you a question a while ago. About the after chat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna stop this one right now, and then we'll actually do the after chat then. If anybody else wants to jump in, I'm gonna drop the link one more time then. And then we'll just bullshit here for about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes maybe. So, but yeah, either way, I think the state's fucked, honestly, and I think it's gonna be a long time before we actually get shit done up is what it is. So
yeah.
Other than that, we'll do some stuff tomorrow. Probably. Yeah. Wait, no. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Probably Thursday. I'll do another chat because we'll actually have talk about what happened with the town hall there in East Palestine. Then we'll go from there. Is what it is. So. Anyway,
Krabby,
that's about it, though.
500. Y'all want to hang out? Jump in.